Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Liftoff interview. I am here with Ember's Flames, MrZerrtt's. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I kind of wanted to ask you, with Liftoff coming around, right? You guys qualified through Launchpad 1, right? And are now here waiting in Liftoff. How far do you think you'll get?
We've talked about this a lot. Like we say we got a 45 50 45 55 type deal where we're 45% sure we can make Nassau, but it's like it's not guaranteed. It's like essentially a 45% chance and then 55% we're in NASA. So we hope to hit Nassau. That's our end goal, but we wouldn't be surprised if we end up in NASA at the end of the day.
Hey, that's completely fair. And well, for two out of three of you who haven't yet competed in NASA, I think that's still a pretty solid achievement. But I know all three of you have been kind of pretty heavy on really wanting to make that next stride towards NASA, especially for this season. But I wanted to ask you, which teams do you think will make landing?
Let me get the real easy one out the way of return to form. Like that team is honestly, they should not even had to go through Launchpad. I'm gonna be honest. They should just been in landing already with how strong and how seasoned those competitors are. Like Leo Leon, Grandfather X, he's been there for a while. He's been in NASA for a while. Same with Hook Resets. I've seen them play at the very top level. And Moff and Quimmy, they were also sub of the year. Was a sub of the year, I believe, at one point for NASA. So
Yeah,
they
most
all have
valuable sub.
experience. Yeah, most valuable sub. So they most definitely have that experience to play at Nassau. Modern Magic will definitely make it for sure. PLX, I would love to see them there. And then I feel like I'm missing. Of course us, but that's the ego talking. Of course, I'm gonna say Ember's Flame. Like, why wouldn't we be there? And Polar Cortex, I could definitely see them making it. If not Polar Cortex, then feel like I'm missing one. Pass. I would love to see Pass there, especially with how strong Tragic and Mangoes are as a duo. I could definitely see them making it.
Yeah, so I mean, anything you want to kind of elaborate for specifically for like PLX and Polar Cortex, because you didn't really give that much of an explanation for them.
Oh, well, PLX, man, I love watching Zay. He is a really strong brawler, and Josh is a really strong midfielder. I feel like I'm gonna be honest, Vaga is likely their weakest link, but with it being Vaga, I'd say that's a good part to have your weakest link. Like for that to be your skill floor is Vaga, I'd say you'll be just fine. And you said Polar Cortex. Well, with A and Elo, they are very strong. They are very strong defensively, and A has been making waves, notably making waves as a midfielder, starting to show their fact that they're like a top midfielder. And Elo, I really don't see him getting scored on often. He's a very strong lockdown goalie.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts on Elo Tour's eject Asher pick, right? It didn't look particularly great in Launchpad 1, but I don't think he pulled it out in Launchpad 2.
It makes me laugh. It's very silly. It's very goofy. Like that's something I expect from Wo Chills. That is a very silly, goofy pick.
Oh,
But I can
yeah.
see the appeal just because you get reduced cooldown on the secondary. And with it being percentage based, it doesn't matter how much you like hit the secondary cooldown wise, it'll just get stronger as time goes on. So you get more passive, which means you get more damage resist, more knockback resist, and more strike reductions. Because why not give Asher like 18 different things to use defensively?
Hey, I mean, it could work, right? It could work once again. But I wanted to ask you, right? Are there any teams that you're interested to play against? Any players, maybe?
Oh, so I have two teams that instantly come to mind when I'm asked this. It's Return to Form and Modern Magic. With Return to Form, I feel like if you can beat them, you show that you have the capability of playing at that top level, which means that you're most likely gonna end up in landing. Yeah, most likely going to end up in landing. It's like stepping over the hurdle because they're the benchmark. Most people are looking at them like, oh, Nassau for sure, and calling it a day. So if you have the capabilities of taking them out, that shows that you're at that level as well. And Modern Magic, I have this running theory that if you take out Forgot, that team will crumple. Because Forgot is the well, Carmine did win NASA, yes. Forgot is the one who is at the NASA midfield level and honestly really good NASA midfielder at that. So if you take out that binding link between the two, especially knowing how this team kind of last minute had some changes, knowing that team had last minute changes, they might not have the chemistry to play together like that without having Forgot being that glue. So I'm curious to see if the Jenga pieces will fall once you take Forgot out the equation.
Hey, you never know, right? We'll have to see if that works the way it does. One other question I did want to ask though is there any message or messages you have for anyone? Any shout outs, any call outs of the sort?
Shout outs. I'd like to shout out Joach for being with us every step of the way and trying to help us improve. Bun Bun for the scrims. Because, man, that has been some of the most fun scrims I've had, and I have felt pushed to the limit every time. Uh, Recently, we've had Seraphim. I believe I'm saying the name right. I'll feel horrible if I'm not. They're helping us with scheduling so that we keep everything organized because they had me doing the scheduling, the brawler, and reading's hard. And Sov, I love you, and a story, and Wallaby Gangsta, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be at the level I'm at today. That is my original coach. He's the reason why I can compete at this level.
Yeah, and just for the viewers, Joach is referring to Joach Grimella,
Yes,
right? The
Joach Gramilla. Yes.
the official Joach for Ember's Flame, not to be confused with Ember Blaze Flame, the player. Um, Now, I guess that's really all we have for today, right? There's not much to say except, Ember's Flame. Hey, maybe we'll see them in landing, right? And
Hey,
maybe even
fire's
have some.
burning. Don't get burned.
Yeah, fire's burning. Don't get burned. All right, everyone. Thanks for coming by, Mr. Zerd. It was a pleasure having you.
Pleasure being here.
And for the viewers, don't go anywhere. We'll see you at Liftoff. Bye.
Later.